Welcome to the deep dive. You ready to really get into AI and knowledge?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're diving deep into this paper. Experts or authorities? The strange case of the presumed epistemic superiority of artificial intelligence systems.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
I know, right? But it's super interesting, I promise.
Yeah.
Basically, we're going to try to figure out how these ideas of expert and authority apply to AI.
Especially now with AI getting so good at so many things.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing. But before we get all AI crazy, let's start with us humans. What makes someone a real expert? What sets them apart?
Well, I think a real expert doesn't just know a ton of facts. They have this deeper understanding of their field.
Okay, so it's not just about being a walking encyclopedia.
Right, exactly. They can see the connections, the nuances, the why behind the what.
I see. So they can use that understanding to solve new problems and really push their field forward.
Yeah, it's not just about knowing stuff, it's about really understanding it.
That makes sense. So it's not just about being a walking encyclopedia. It's about actually grasping the meaning and the significance of all that information.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got experts, but what about authority? Are those the same thing?
That's a good question. I mean, they're related, but not quite the same. Think about it. You might trust your mechanic to fix your car,
Right.
but you wouldn't ask them for fashion advice.
Definitely not.
Not
So what makes someone a real authority then? Is it just about being an expert?
necessarily. I think it's more about trust. You trust an authority to guide you to the truth because you believe they're really careful and reliable in how they use their knowledge.
So it's like relying on a mentor or a trusted friend to give you solid advice.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone who's got your best interests at heart and will be honest with you.
And it's also about that personal connection, right? Like I might consider someone an authority based on my own experiences with them.
Absolutely. And the situation matters too. Think about a little kid learning about the world. They probably see their parents or grandparents as authorities on pretty much everything, even if they're not, experts in the traditional sense.
It's about that relationship of trust and guidance,
Right.
right? Like looking up to someone who can help you make sense of things.
Right.
So we've got these two big ideas, expertise and authority, both about knowledge, but in different ways. Expertise is more about understanding, and authority is more about trust and guidance. Makes you think, who are my authorities, and why do I trust them?
It's a great question. But now let's throw AI into the mix. I mean, AI is getting ridiculously good at, all sorts of things.
It's true. We've got AI diagnosing diseases, writing music, even coding software. Does that mean AI is becoming an expert?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, AI is definitely changing how we think about knowledge and expertise. AI systems are literally built for knowledge-related tasks. Some people call them epistemic technology. They basically manipulate data, analyze patterns, and try to come up with insights.
So AI is like amplifying our ability to learn and understand things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like having these superpowered tools that can help us make sense of massive amounts of information. Take protein folding, for example.
Okay.
Humans have been trying to figure out how proteins fold for ages. It's super important for understanding diseases and creating new drugs. And now AI is crushing it in that area.
Wow, so AI is like this awesome research partner helping us break new ground.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
there's always a but, right?
Well, there's a big debate about whether AI can really be considered an expert in the same way as humans.
I see. What do you mean?
Even though it's powerful, it often lacks the flexibility and adaptability that we see in human experts. An AI might be brilliant at, say, diagnosing lung cancer from X-rays,
Uh-huh.
but ask it to analyze a poem or write a marketing campaign, it'll probably be totally lost.
So it's like AI is developing this specialized expertise, but it's not the same as the generalized intelligence that lets humans learn and adapt to any situation.
Right. And there's another difference.
Okay.
AI depends on stable patterns in data. It's amazing when the rules are clear and the data is consistent, but the real world, it's messy and always changing. When those patterns shift, AI can really struggle.
So it's like a chess master who's amazing at following the rules, but gets thrown off if you suddenly change the game.
Exactly.
Okay. And maybe the biggest difference of all is that AI doesn't truly understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's processing all this data, but it's not grasping the meaning the way we do.
It's like a language translation program, right?
Okay.
It can convert words, but it doesn't get the nuance, the culture, the context like a human translator.
You got it.
So even though AI can do these amazing things, it's operating on a different level than human understanding.
Exactly. And that leads us to a really important question. If AI isn't quite an expert in the human sense, can it still be an authority?
Oh, now we're getting to the good stuff.
Right.
And this is where it gets tricky because AI is so integrated into our lives now.
It really is.
It makes us rethink what it even means to know something
Totally.
and who we trust for information.
Absolutely. Who do we believe? Who are our authorities?
Right. Because on one hand, we see AI doing these amazing things like helping doctors or enabling breakthroughs in climate modeling.
It's impressive, for sure.
Hard not to be impressed by that.
It's like having this incredible brain power that can analyze tons of data, spot patterns we miss, even come up with creative solutions we hadn't thought of.
But then there's the flip side.
There always is.
We worry about relying on it too much,
Right.
like losing our own critical thinking skills,
Mm.
or even worse, being misled by AI's biases.
Which definitely exists.
It's a valid concern, especially since, let's be honest, AI isn't perfect. It can make mistakes, be influenced by the data it's trained on.
And it doesn't always explain its reasoning in a way that makes sense to us.
Right. We're like, okay, AI, but how did you come up with that?
Exactly.
So where does that leave us? How do we navigate this tricky world where AI is powerful, but also limited?
That's where this idea of the hybrid agent comes in.
Hybrid agent.
Yeah, what if instead of viewing AI as competition for human expertise,
Uh-huh.
we saw it as a collaborator?
Ooh, I like where this is going. So instead of human versus machine, it's human + machine.
Exactly. The idea is that we combine the strengths of both humans and AI to create a kind of super expert.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. But how would that actually work? Give me an example.
Sure. Remember that doctor diagnosing lung cancer? Imagine, instead of relying solely on their own knowledge and experience, they have access to an AI that's seen thousands of X-ray images.
Oh, wow.
The AI can analyze the image, flag areas of concern, even give a probability score for cancer, but ultimately, the doctor still makes the diagnosis.
So it's not about blindly trusting the AI, it's about using it as a tool to help make a better decision.
Yes, like having a second opinion from a super smart consultant.
I like that. But what makes this hybrid agent really effective?
That's where successful appropriation comes in.
Successful what now?
Appropriation. It's basically about the human being able to use the AI effectively. It's not just having the technology, it's understanding when to trust it, when to question it.
Ah, like any good partnership, it takes communication and trust and a willingness to learn from each other.
Exactly. And there are things that contribute to successful appropriation too. On the human side, you need comfort with technology, a willingness to learn new things.
So being tech savvy, but also curious and open-minded.
Right. And for the AI, you need accuracy, robustness, and explainability. It needs to be reliable, able to handle surprises, and ideally explain its reasoning so we understand.
That explainability piece seems really important. If you don't know why the AI is making a recommendation, how can you trust it?
Exactly. And it's not just about trust, it's about learning. If the AI can explain itself, the human can gain new insights and improve their own understanding.
It's a two-way street.
It is. It becomes this awesome feedback loop where both the human and the AI are learning and growing.
I'm really starting to see the potential here. But if this team of human and AI is the expert, what makes it so special? Just being more accurate or something more?
Well, accuracy is part of it, but it's also about something deeper, a kind of hybrid expertise that goes beyond what either the human or AI could do alone.
Okay, break that down for me.
The human brings experience, intuition, understanding of context. The AI brings the ability to process tons of data and see patterns we might miss.
So it's like each party is bringing their unique strengths to the table, and together they create something new and powerful.
Precisely. It's not just adding their abilities together, it's this new kind of synergistic knowledge that emerges from their interaction.
Wow, I love that. But what about situations where the human isn't an expert in the first place? Can this hybrid agent still be an authority?
That's where things get really interesting. The paper talks about this idea of the digital grandfather. Imagine a grandfather who wants to teach his grandchild about astronomy, but he doesn't know much about it himself. He could use something like ChatGPT to help.
So the grandfather is like the bridge between the grandchild and this vast AI knowledge base.
Exactly. Neither the grandfather nor the AI are astronomy experts on their own, but together they become a source of knowledge and authority for the child.
That's really cool. It shows that hybrid authority isn't just about having all the answers. It's about guiding someone through understanding.
Right. It's like being a co-explorer on a learning adventure.
And it highlights how AI is changing how we learn and teach. It's not about replacing teachers or experts. It's about new possibilities for collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Exactly. It's about expanding our horizons together.
I'm really getting into this hybrid agent concept. But it also raises a lot of questions like, how do we evaluate this kind of hybrid expertise?
Yeah, good question.
What happens to our traditional ideas of authority when AI is involved?
Yeah.
Things are getting complex.
They are, and that's what makes it so fascinating. We're moving into this uncharted territory where the lines between human and artificial intelligence are blurring.
It's exciting and a little scary all at the same time.
I know, right? It feels like we're at this turning point where AI is going to fundamentally change how we think about knowledge, expertise, even what it means to be human. It's a pivotal moment, that's for sure. I think the key is to approach it with curiosity, a willingness to learn, and a commitment to using these technologies in a way that benefits everyone.
Couldn't agree more. But let's get practical for a second. We've been talking big picture stuff, but how does this all play out in our everyday lives?
Oh, that's a great question. This might seem like a very academic discussion, but it has real implications for how we make decisions, form beliefs, and navigate the world around us.
For real. How does this hybrid agent concept affect things like education, healthcare, or even just deciding what to believe in?
Well, take education, for example. AI is already being used in classrooms to personalize learning, give feedback, and even tutor students in specific subjects. But the teacher's role is becoming even more important.
Oh, interesting. So it's not about AI replacing teachers. It's about teachers becoming even better at guiding students through this world of information and technology.
Exactly. Teachers are becoming more like facilitators, helping students develop the critical thinking skills they need to evaluate information from all these sources, including AI. It's about teaching how you to learn, not just what to learn.
That's a crucial shift from sage on the stage to guide on the side.
Right. Then the same applies to healthcare. As AI gets better at diagnosing diseases and recommending treatments, the doctor's role becomes even more vital.
I see. So it's not about blindly following the AI, but using it as a starting point for a deeper conversation and a more personalized approach.
Yes. It's about the doctor interpreting the AI's insights, explaining them to the patient, and making sure everything aligns with the patient's needs and values.
It's a true partnership, just like we were talking about before.
Exactly. And even in our personal lives, with all the information overload we face, this hybrid agent concept can help. We can use AI tools to filter information, find relevant sources, even challenge our own biases.
So we're not just passively consuming information anymore. We're becoming more active participants in creating and evaluating knowledge.
Right, we're becoming more like investigators, using a blend of human intuition and AI tools to try and uncover the truth and understand the world around us.
It's like we're all developing our own personal BS detectors, but powered by both human judgment and AI insights.
Exactly.
It's not about blindly trusting humans or AI. It's about using both to create a more nuanced and informed perspective.
And it's not just about individual knowledge, it's about collective knowledge, too. Think about how AI is being used in scientific research and journalism.
Oh, right. AI can sift through mountains of data to find hidden patterns or connections that could lead to new discoveries and breakthroughs.
Exactly. It's like having an army of research assistants working 24/7, freeing up human scientists and journalists to focus on the big picture, the interpretation, the communication of those findings.
It's incredible to think about how this could change these fields. But as with everything we've discussed, there are potential downsides, right?
Of course. One of the biggest is making sure AI is used responsibly and ethically in these domains. Like, if AI is generating news articles, how do we make sure they're accurate, unbiased, and clearly labeled as being AI generated?
That's a huge point. Transparency is so important. People need to know where their information is coming from and how it was created.
Absolutely. And it's not just about transparency, it's about accountability. If an AI makes a mistake or creates misleading information, who takes responsibility? These are questions we need to figure out as AI becomes more and more a part of our lives.
It's a good reminder that even though AI is powerful, it's still a tool created by humans. We need to make sure it's used in a way that aligns with our values and benefits society as a whole.
Couldn't agree more. It's not just about building smarter AI, it's about building a smarter society, one that can harness the power of AI for good while minimizing the risks.
So it sounds like we need a whole new set of rules and ethical guidelines to navigate this new world.
I think so, yeah. We need to start thinking about the legal and ethical implications of AI now before it gets so advanced that we can't control it.
It's a call to action for everyone. Policymakers, technologists, ethicists, even everyday people like us, to get involved and help shape the future of AI in a positive way.
It's a shared responsibility. And it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff. It's about actively creating a future where AI empowers us to make the world a better place.
So what does that look like? What's your vision for an AI-powered future that's truly a force for good?
Well, I imagine a future where AI helps us tackle huge problems like climate change, poverty, disease. A future where it boosts our creativity, productivity, and helps us connect with each other in meaningful ways.
A future where knowledge is more accessible to everyone.
Exactly, where AI helps us overcome our own biases and limitations.
I love that vision. It's inspiring to think about all the possibilities if we approach AI with optimism, responsibility, and a commitment to our shared humanity.
And it's a future we can build together if we're willing to think critically, ask tough questions, and have honest conversations about the role of AI in our lives.
This deep dive has been quite a journey. We've gone from the philosophy of knowledge to the complexities of AI expertise, the power of hybrid agents, and the ethical challenges of an AI-driven future.
It has been quite a ride, and to me, the biggest takeaway is that this is just the beginning. We're just starting to understand what AI can do, and the questions it raises about how we understand knowledge and authority are going to get even bigger as these technologies keep evolving.
It's exciting and a little intimidating, right?
Definitely. But one thing's for sure, we can't ignore these questions. The future of AI is being shaped now, and we all have a part to play in making it a future we can be proud of.
I agree completely, and I think you, our listener, are playing a vital role just by engaging in this conversation. So thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked your curiosity, challenged your assumptions, and given you some new ways to think about this fascinating world of AI and knowledge. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.